Sri Lanka is heading for one of its crucial presidential elections. With 39 candidates in the fray, the 1.7 crore people of Sri Lanka will cast their votes on September 21 to elect their ninth president. President Ranil Wickremesinghe of the United National Party (UNP) is contesting as an independent. He is backed by a major section of legislators from former President Mahinda Rajapaksa's Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna. Also in the fray are opposition leaders Sajith Premadasa, leftist leader Anura Kumara Dissanayake, and Mahinda's son Namal Rajapaksa. Sajith's Samagi Jana Balawegaya has aligned with some of the prominent parties and has support of the Tamil and Muslim minorities. The Tamil form 11% of the total votes in Sri Lanka, and Muslim minorities form 9.7% of the population. Anura is a Marxist-Leninist leader from Janatha Vimukthi Peramuna, the main constituent of the National People's Power Coalition. While Ranil, Sajith and Anura are frontrunners, Namal, the youngest in the fray, has made the contest tough for them. He is the official SLPP candidate, but his chances of winning even half of the 69 lakh votes polled by his uncle Gotabaya Rajapaksa in 2019 appear remote. Another prominent face in the election is former military chief Sarath Fonseka. And then there is Nuwan Bopage. Bopage is the activist lawyer who led the Aragalaya protest movement in 2022.
In fact, as you said, after the 2021 crisis, people put their people's power in the So after that, this is the first election coming up. On the other hand, during the past 2 years, even economy is concerned, even the other sectors are concerned, certain reforms followed by running which are all legitimate to the general public. For instance, the intervention of IMF, the activities of India and US, at the same time, the expansion of the liberal economy.
With prominent names in the fray and because of the absence of terrorism and polarization, this election is dominated by completely different issues compared with earlier elections. In 2019, the election was fought on security issues after the 2019 Easter bombings, and there were only two main contenders, Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Sajith Premadasa. And Gotabaya won with a decisive mandate. But this election is being fought on the merits of each candidate. An economic crisis still looms large, and this election can also be considered one that is fought between establishment candidates and anti-establishment candidates. This time around, the voters appear confused. In the rural areas outside Colombo, the masses look at Anura as a promising candidate. While the city elites stand by Ranil, Sajith finds support largely from farmers, teachers, doctors and Tamil minority. Both Anura and Sajith have promised to abolish executive presidency.
Well, I mean, it is to save democracy the way we see it, because opposition comes from a very sort of a troubled sort of history. It has had been at the center of two armed insurrections, 71 and 88, 89. But of course, they've now changed. They've come to the mainstream and with a different name. But a lot of people find it a little difficult to sort of see the JVP, which is really the driving force of the NPP. sort of taking a back seat in their ideology.
The senior most candidate in the presidential race is 75-year-old Ranil, but the erudite intellectual lacks charisma. He doesn't have the backing of a strong political party. Most members of Ranil's UNP are now with Sajith, and a section of his supporters are from the SLPP. With some of the best minds from Ranil and Rajapaksa camps joining him, Sajith's strength has grown multifold. His alliance now has key leaders like Pattali Champika Ranawaka, Nallaga Godehava, Charida Herath, and GL Perez. However, Sajith could be handicapped by the fact that he has not really moved away from the UNP's policies and ideas. His critics call him an economic populist and a better version of Mahinda, a rational, forward-looking populist who is not a racist.
Well, it's a pivotal moment in Sri Lanka's history. So I believe this election will give an opportunity for the people of Sri Lanka to make a choice between a new approach, fresh thinking, a visionary approach, and an administration that will walk the talk, as opposed to the same old methodology of protecting the few who are rich, the few who are your friends and crony capitalists, whereas our approach would be serving all 22 million people in our country. People also have a choice between choosing extreme socialism and Marxism, which has not proven to be a viable model in modern day governance of nation states. And I'm very confident that people will make the right choice.
Sajith is in neck-and-neck contest with Anura, popularly known as AKD. Anura is the most popular candidate among the rural masses in Sri Lanka in this election. He's the only candidate who doesn't belong to a political family and came up from the active student politics movement by the Janatha Vimukthi Peramuna in the late 1980s.
Sri Lankan politics has been evolving with our people, with lots of deceptive politics and deprivation and the corrupt ruling, and as far as the economic system is concerned, highly undemocratic. So at the end of the day, especially after the independence, so after 76 years ruling, what has left with the people is highly questionable. So the people, I mean, in simple terms, so they are deprived with everything. So in that sense, the context, those who rule the country, those who handle the economy, the very few, had amassed the wealth to maybe billions of rupees, dollars at the expense of general public.
His party had shifted away from its anti-capitalist roots and briefly joined coalition governments. But the JVP leadership is untested as administrators. The next in the race is Namal Rajapaksa from the all-powerful Rajapaksa clan. The Rajapaksas until 2022 were powerful and always ran as populist. But in 2022, the Aragalaya movement toppled Gotabaya from power, and a part of their political party, the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, shifted to Ranil Wickremesinghe. In the 2019 elections, Namal's uncle Gotabaya swept the whole country except the Tamil-dominated North and East, as terrorism and national security became key issues after the Easter bombings. But Gotabaya's inept governance and his decision to flee the country during the economic crisis discredited the Rajapaksa brand and the SLPP. Most of the SLPP MPs are now with Ranil, while the intellectuals in the party have moved to Sajith's SGB. Namal was reportedly asked to contest to keep the party alive. Earlier, the SLPP had plans to field billionaire businessman Dhamiga Pereira, But when it became clear that it would lead to a massive loss and that the remaining SLPP cadres too would leave the party, Namal decided to step in.
Well, I chose because my party wanted me to contest, and I think I took the right challenge, I took the right decision, because we are a party who believes in the Sri Lankan model, and we believe that the Sri Lankan ideology should be protected. And we believe in certain policies, which we thought most of the other parties who are contesting does not carry those policies. So we as a party has a historical responsibility to make sure that we represent our voter base, communities, people who believe in the Sri Lankan model.
Opinion polls and voter surveys indicate that the election results will be determined by economic issues such as cost of living, inflation, unemployment and high taxes, while corruption among politicians and bureaucrats, problems in the education sector, flawed health services and a growing drug crisis are among the key concerns. The candidate who can convince the voters about having the most effective platform to tackle inflation and ensure economic recovery stands the best chance to win on September 21. As of now, Anura and Sajith have an edge, even as Ranil hopes that his track record of stabilizing and running the country during the economic crisis could offer him another chance at the helm. Given Sri Lanka's proximity to India, National Security Advisor Ajit Doval visited Colombo and held meetings with all key presidential aspirants. Let us wait and watch for the results.